here, ladies and gentlemen, battling, as I say, ignorance and apathy daily. And let me just tell you, the show we got for you today is truly a battle against ignorance. I'd call it beyond ignorance. I'd call it stupidity, because, there's a difference between being ignorant and being stupid. And the best example I can give you is that, if you can't read, then you're ignorant. It just means you're ignorant. You don't know something. Ignorance is not a bad thing. It just means you don't know something, like you don't know how to read. So if you don't know how to read, you're ignorant. But if you don't care, then you're stupid. Trust me on that. And this story we're going to do for you today, man, is pretty much stupidity. And I'm not sure how to actually battle it, but we better actually try to battle it. We better not be apathetic, because really I'm making a little bit of a joke about it, but it is a serious deal and it is scary. We're going to talk about a New York Times opinion piece that was written a couple days ago. And essentially, it is saying that Joe Biden, President Biden, should start a truth commission, and have a reality czar added to the cabinet. And supposedly, the Biden administration is actually considering something like this. The Democratic Party is basically opposed to anything that is not lockstep in link with whatever their political agenda is at any given moment. But we'll get into the details of that in just a few seconds. But before we go any further, I always have to talk about our sponsors here, because as I tell you all the time, everybody can support those of us in the fight. Not everybody can actually be a fighter. And me and Billy Bob, my psychic sidekick, who has a Twitter handle, by the way, it's at Billy Bob Bass 1, and mine is at John Martin Talks. We're determined to stay in the public square no matter what. And not only do we need help from sponsors like Big Daddy Unlimited, but we need you to support our sponsors and spread the show far and wide. Big Daddy Unlimited is your Second Amendment headquarters. The way to get to any of our sponsors is look above the show, no matter when or where you're watching the video, whether it's live or we're here Monday through Friday, 8 o'clock Eastern time. Howdy, how are you guys? And you can get us anytime on our YouTube channel and various others, which I'll tell you about in just a moment. But look above the video and scroll down and you'll see a link to our sponsor, Big Daddy Unlimited, your Second Amendment headquarters. They can get you guns, ammunition, guns and ammunition delivered directly to your door at factory direct pricing, including thousands of other related items, from tactical gear, protective wear, to even survival gear, as well as all kind of swag. And I call them your Second Amendment headquarters because Big Daddy Unlimited BDU is also your voice to save and safeguard our Second Amendment rights. So check them out. We also have patriotthreads.org, apparel with a purpose. Go to theirs, patriotthreads.org. Remember the promo code JMT, the letters for John Martin Talks, and you get 20% off. They have a fabulous line of patriotic gear there. They can even help you with your charity events. They are a total fulfillment center, which means they can produce it, ship it, and even help you direct the money and proceeds, if you want them to, for any particular charity event directly to the organization of your choice. We have Recoil TV is in a sense a sponsor of the show as well, because we're now on their YouTube channel, Recoil TV, YouTube channel. That's all a mouthful, right? We have John Martin Talks YouTube, spell it all the way out, John Martin Talks. But Recoil TV is all about the Second Amendment as well. They show you the latest in products, even older stuff. They show you how to use it, what's coming down the line. You Recoil TV, you can't go wrong with it. And they play into this next announcement too, because as you know, shows like ours, anything that is considered not progressive is under attack right now. So due to the move by big tech to deplatform conservative free speech like us, we'll be moving John Martin Talks to a new secure platform so we continue to broadcast. We're working on that right now. Please download the free app of Recoil TV app found in the link below, in the same link about our sponsor of the show. Right now it's available on Apple Store and Google Play Store. Recoil TV app. Check it out. In addition, you can go directly to johnmartintalks.tv where you can see all of our shows archived there. Like I say, we're determined to be your voice of freedom. So remember, www.johnmartintalks.tv. Check it out. All right, we're going to get into what I think is a great story today. It's concerning. You may be tempted, as I was when I first see the headline, to laugh it off. But when you look at what's really happening right now and what is being proposed and what this article is talking about, it's actually frightening. So let's get into it. This is a Breitbart story about a New York Times column. New York column urges Biden to appoint reality czar, establish truth commission to solve reality crisis. Basically, ladies and gentlemen, let me just cut to the bottom line and then we'll get into it. They're trying to figure out what to do with you sons of guns. The worst, let me just put it this way. There is one person. Of course, they're trying to ghost Donald Trump. They're trying to make it like he didn't even exist. But there is one person they fear out there more than Donald Trump. One person that terrifies the establishment swamp rats, the progressive leftists, the never Trumpers, the mainstream media, that terrifies these people more than Donald Trump. You know who that is? It's you. It's you, the American people, you dregs of society, you basket full of deplorables, you mostly bad people that put Donald Trump in office. They fear you more than anything else, more than Trump, because there'd be no Trump, and President Trump admits this, without you. So believe me, they're out to get you. It's one thing, are you paranoid? If people are really out to get you, are you really paranoid? Now, do we know the Democratic Party, as I talked about a few days ago, is becoming extremely paranoid, like Ocasio-Cortez, and we'll hear from her in just a few moments, so I give you a little warning there. Ocasio-Cortez is coming. She's coming. But she's paranoid. She accused Ted Cruz of attempted murder. From the House floor, she did that. Yet there's no repercussions against her. I don't know if you saw this or not, but we're not going to really get into it. But Liz Cheney has been exonerated by the Republican Party. No surprise there. She's going to hold on to her position. And I'm not surprised. But the swamp fears you more than anything else. The New York Times published an essay on Tuesday detailing a range of recommendations for the Biden administration to adopt to fix the reality crisis. The reality crisis is you. If you're watching this show right now and you actually supported Donald Trump, then you are living in a fake universe, according to the left right here. To fix the reality crisis and de-radicalize citizens, including setting up a reality czar and a truth commission. Well, I'm a little bit confused by this because they're worried about, they want to de-radicalize you. But I thought that the leader of the Democratic Party now, one of the Twitter, what do they call them, the squad, I call them the Twitter twats, Ocasio-Cortez, she actually praised radicalization. Check this out. Got a video.
Let this moment radicalize you. Let this moment really put everything into stark focus, because this election has always been about the fight of and for our lives. And if anything, tonight is making that more clear to more people than ever before. And I'm going to tell you, it's going to get more and more and more clear up until election day. Things are going to happen.
Things are going to happen. It's amazing how, I guess the Twitter twat, as I call them, somebody did something, like Ilhan Omar said, and how Ocasio-Cortez, she's saying right there, let this moment radicalize you. She's talking actually to give it context. She's talking about the death of Ruth Bader Ginsburg on the day her death was announced. Let this moment radicalize you. And what did she say there? Billy Bob, what did she say? She said that we're in the fight for our lives, talking about the fight for our lives. Now that is not, is she talking about insurrection? Really? Think about this. Donald Trump is being impeached next week, or at least being held on trial. Citizen Trump, at the time they impeached him, President Trump, and he said something along the lines of, and it's hard to find this video, by the way, unless you take the whole thing, where he says, go down and go to the Capitol and patriotically, peacefully protest. And that he's being impeached for. But Ocasio-Cortez can say, that we're in the fight for our lives. Now, if you truly believe that, if you want to take it literally, if you believe your life is on the line, what would you do to protect that or to protect your family's life? Go to Big Daddy Unlimited and they can help you with that. But think about that, ladies. What would you do? Because I'm going to take them at their word. I take these progressives at their word. I think she truly believes, she accused Ted Cruz of attempted murder, right? I believe that Ocasio-Cortez truly believes that your life is on the line. So if your life is on the line, what would you do? Pretty much anything, right? If you're a human being and you want to protect yourself and your family, anything. So I don't know, why is that not an incitement to violence and radicalization? Because she literally says, let it radicalize you. I mean, to me, that's more about insurrection than anything Donald Trump has ever said. The essay penned by the Times, New York Times, technology columnist Kevin Ross, or Roos, as Roose. I don't know anything about him other than he is a bit crazy. He might be the Trotsky of our times. You'll understand that reference more in a minute. Accuses millions of Americans of embracing hoaxes, lies, and collective delusions before questioning how to unite a country where these millions have chosen to create their own version of reality. So he's saying that people that voted for Trump, basically, I mean, let's just cut to the chase on this. They're talking about Trump supporters in this. They couch it when they hear it, they say white supremacists. They put it all in this. They're still talking about Trump supporters, racist, misogynist. I mean, you can be a woman, you can be black, a black man, it don't matter. If you supported Donald Trump, then you're some kind of ist for sure. There's no question about it. You're definitely an ist. So they talk about their own version of reality. I want to play you a little clip right now of a reporter. I think he's from MSNBC, I do believe. Should be MSDNC, right? And he's literally talking about peaceful protest while everything is burning around him. Check it out.
I want to be clear in how I characterize this. This is mostly a protest. It is not generally speaking unruly, but fires have been started, and there's a crowd that is.
But fires have been started. What if that was your business or your home in the background there? I mean, that's not a little bonfire. That's actually businesses burning to the ground. Somebody's American dream is burning to the ground. And we saw this across the nation. Yet that is I don't want to mischaracterize this. You don't have to say a word. I can look, don't believe your lying eyes that the place is burning down, but it's mostly peaceful protest. And they talk about their own version of reality. I mean, I guess they got a point there, but they're not focusing. None of this Truth Commission is about the truth of America being burned. It's not the truth that when Black Lives Matter, the only lives that don't seem to matter are actually Black lives when they're being gunned down in Chicago, when just this past week, a baby was shot in its infant car, baby car seat in Manhattan, was shot in the car seat. I mean, this is reality, but it ain't real to them. The only time that violence matters is if it fits the bill with which their agenda. It's just crazy, man. Maybe we do need a Truth Commission. I don't know. But Roos writes this. He says, I worry that unless the Biden administration, this is from the New York Times column, the Biden administration treats conspiracy theories and disinformation as the urgent threats they are. Is that really what you're concerned about right now? If you're out of work and you're trying to figure out how to pay the rent, how to put food on your table, or you're simply worried about your family's safety in this pandemic that we have out here, are you really worried about disinformation? Is that really what you wake up and, boy, I hope I'm not I hope I'm not exposed to disinformation. Is there a mask for that? I guess it would be put it all over your entire head, cover your eyes. I don't know. But this writer says, I worry that unless the Biden administration treats conspiracy theories, which mean like voter mod, We don't say the F word here, Bob. They try to trick us into saying it, but we're determined not to say the F word here. And disinformation, as the urgent threats they are, our parallel universes will only drift further apart, and the potential for violent unrest and civic dysfunction will only grow. I love it. He says here, our parallel universes will only drift further apart. You mean like maybe impeaching a president for insurrection when he said go to the Capitol and patriotically and peacefully protest? While this, so that guy, the guy that said that, Citizen Trump now, patriotic and peacefully protest, he actually said that, is being impeached for inciting violence. Whereas I showed you earlier, Ocasio-Cortez, while, so President Trump, now the Citizen Trump, is impeached for patriotic and peaceful. Those are some really insurrectionist words, right? While this guy right here in the video I'm about to show you has been elevated to the Senate Majority Leader. Check it out.
And they're taking away fundamental rights. I want to tell you, Gorsuch, I want to tell you, Kavanaugh, you have released the whirlwind, and you will pay the price. You won't know what hit you if you go forward with these awful decisions. The bottom line is very simple. We will stand with the American people. We will stand with American women. We will tell President Trump and Senate Republicans who have stacked the court with right-wing ideologues that you're going to be gone in November and you will never be able to do what you're trying to do now, ever again. You hear that over there on the far right? You're gone in November.
You're gone. We're coming to get you. You're going to reap the whirlwind. Boy, there's some peaceful stuff. I mean, if your neighbor comes to you and shouting over your fence and said, yeah, I'm coming for you, you're going to reap the whirlwind, I'm sure you're going to think that was mostly peaceful. You're probably going to see if you've properly got some ammunition, which is to go to Big Daddy Unlimited to get there. But this guy, Chuck Schumer, is exalted to majority leader. There's no talk of impeaching him. Now, what is more insightful? We're coming for you. You're going to reap the whirlwind. Can you imagine if Donald Trump had said, let's go to the Capitol and make them reap the whirlwind? What the heck would have happened? They'd have probably tried to execute the dude before as he was walking out of the White House. I mean, it is crazy. Yeah, we're living in a parallel universe, but it's not the one this New York Times clown is writing about. But think about this. When 75 million people, that's roughly the amount of people that voted for Trump, 74 plus million people, more votes than any sitting president in the history of the United States. Now, I'm not talking about, Joe Biden. Joe Biden is our president. You could argue whether he should be, could be, whatever. He's in the White House. It's just a reality we have to deal with. And he definitely got more ballots than Donald Trump. I don't know about votes, and I'm not saying there was voter fraud. I'm not saying that. But when 75 million people, because there's more than just the people that voted for him that like Donald Trump, when that many people feel this way about a president, check it out. Play this video about, there we go.
Especially when you have a crowd like this. But they're like this. They have such spirit in this country. People love our country so much. I went to Texas, I went to Ohio, I went to Florida. It's always like this. They love our country. And we're not going to disappoint anybody. We're not disappointed. For years, you had a president who apologized for America.
I think we get the point. There's some Trump love in the country out there, right? People love Donald Trump. Now, it doesn't look to me like he's an insurrectionist there. It looks like he's trying to put America first, make America great again. My new slogan, after seeing what King Joe has been doing the last few days, he's basically doing everything by his phone, his pen. Not a phone, because he's probably not very good on the phone, but by the pen. I mean, Joe Biden, man, is just turning us into a monarchy. But Donald Trump, they're trying to ghost the dude. 75 million people literally love Donald Trump, man, and probably more. Certainly those at the rallies. They're chanting, "We love you." I've never heard that for any political figure. Have you? Have you ever heard, especially a presidential figure? Now, this guy was running for re-election and they're chanting, "We love you." Now, that dude absolutely has got to be impeached. He's got to be stopped because he's obviously, people are chanting love and he says, "I love you too." And that is absolutely fomenting insurrection, is it not? But this dude who said this while he was running for president, check it out. And we'll come back and talk about it.
And so, before I end, that's my call to action here. Please don't just come here today and then go home. Go to the Hill today. Get up and please get up in the face of some Congress people.
Yeah, get up in the face of some congresspeople. That guy has not only not been impeached, but he's going to be voting to impeach the president for violence, inciting violence on the Capitol. And Donald Trump, I remind you, said go there and patriotic and peacefully protest. Cory Booker says when you leave here, now this guy was running for president, a sitting U.S. Senator who is still a sitting U.S. Senator and will be voting whether or not to convict Donald Trump, says go up at the Capitol when you leave here and get up in their face. There is more insurrection and incitement to violence in that 30 seconds of Cory Booker than Donald Trump did in 4 years combined. It's just insane. So yeah, maybe we are living in a parallel universe. It does seem to be that way. The author then states he contacted several experts seeking what actions to buy. What do you have to do to be an expert, by the way? Is there like a college major in expertise? I mean, is there like a training? Can you go to like the DeVry Institute or whatever, and get a degree in 6 months, or one of these internet universities as well in expertise? I don't know. Experts probably get paid a good bit. Maybe I need to become an expert. That's what it is, man. I'm going to look into that. John Martin the expert. John Martin Talks. That's what we need to do. Maybe we got to think about changing the title. The author then states he contacted several experts seeking what actions the Biden administration could take to help fix our truth challenged information ecosystem. Let that sink in for a minute. What the heck is to help fix our truth challenged information ecosystem? So it's like an ecosystem. Isn't the ecosystem like the environment? So I guess we're living in some kind of like lack of truth deal. I don't know. To me, it's interesting because it's like, I should have put this meme up, but like Orwell famously said, the more society drifts away from truth, the more they hate those that speak it. I actually believe that Trump supporters are more I'm not saying they have a lock on the truth, but they actually have more truth in them than the Biden people ever. Cause like, it's like I see more Biden signs now than I did during it's interesting. This is very interesting to me. And I'm not scientific about it. I'm not saying I'm an expert on it. I'm just making an observation. There's two things that have happened post-election that in all my years of politics, running campaigns and everything, I've never seen this. One is Donald Trump signs still proudly up. I still got mine in my yard. I had one on my piece of property, a 4x8. Somebody took it down. Yeah, they couldn't take it or whatever. But I see Trump signs all over the place. I drive down the interstate just about every weekend going fishing. It's about a 3-hour drive to where I go to Tampa, St. Pete, and I see Trump stuff all over people on the interstate and everything else. So I've never seen that for someone after an election that's out of office, basically. Never seen that. And then the other thing is, in some ways, it seems like there's more Biden. Maybe I'm wrong on this. It seems like there's more Biden signs up now than there was leading up to Election Day. So I don't know what any of that means, but it is very interesting times, alternative reality. But it says, to help fix our truth challenge information ecosystem, or at least prevent it from getting worse, and then provides the answers he was given. So he talked to these experts. So I thought I'd look up the word expert and see if it had meaning here. Here's one of the definitions of an expert: having or involving authoritative knowledge. So you have knowledge and you involve it and you're authoritative with it. I told you that this was going to be a little bit of Ocasio-Cortez Day. She is clearly an expert on the South. She is expert on the South. If you don't believe it, this New York gal who, is supposedly in tune with poverty, who's basically lived one of the most cushy lives you could possibly live, she is an expert on the South. If you don't believe it, just listen to her.
That's what we got to do. We got to organize. And I think what we saw in Georgia is a really good example, with Black women leading the way, with multiracial and multicultural organizations leading the way. They proved that Southern states are not red states. They are suppressed states, which means the only way that our country is going to heal is through the actual liberation of Southern states, the actual liberation of the poor, the actual liberation of working people from economic, social, and racial oppression. That's the only way.
The only way to liberate. I like that last part where she talks about the poor and the working people to be liberated. Liberated from what? Liberated from their jobs, I guess. That's what Biden administration is doing. They're liberating people from their jobs on a daily basis now, man. And they're securing your replacements. So if you're having a hard time finding work, how's it going to get easier by letting tens of thousands, if not millions, of illegal immigrants come up here, open border and a welfare state? That's what Biden and his crew are for. That's what they're implementing, signing every day. I mean, yeah, they're liberating working people and poor people on a daily basis, liberating working people from their jobs and ensuring, because the Democrats champion, they always say, we're the party of the poor. And so what do they need? More poor folks, more people. That's what they need. But she's talking about liberating the South. My God, do you not? I mean, I guess part of the problem, my producer and I were talking about this, is people just have no education these days. Now, they may get all kind of alphabets after their name, but they're teaching you what to think, not how to think. Because they talk about, I heard somebody talk about the insurrection, as they call it, at the Capitol, was the worst day in the history of the United States, other than maybe Pearl Harbor, which we were attacked by the Japanese, and like about 2,000 people were killed at Pearl Harbor, destroyed the Pacific Fleet. But a guy in a buffalo helmet is worse than Hirohito or whatever. I mean, come on, man. It's the worst day in history if you've never actually studied history. I mean, that's the only way you could actually say that. But she's talking about liberating the South. Does that not scare you? I mean, I can understand you may say, okay, well, we're going to liberate it from racism and all that kind of stuff. Trust me on this, ladies and gentlemen. That ain't going to happen. All right. Racism, I'm not saying racism doesn't exist. I do believe Dr. King's dream is dying, if it's not dead already, where he talked about judging people on the content of their character rather than the color of their skin. Because, see, I don't care if we got the first LGBTQ alphabet city guy in the cabinet. It doesn't matter to me. I'm assuming he's not the first, by the way. He may be the first to come out and say, yeah, I'm this. But I guarantee you there's been more than one or two gay folks in the White House over the years. I'd be willing to bet money on that. We know there was one or two at the FBI, but that's a whole nother story. But I don't really care what your alphabet is. I don't. I only care, like in the transportation deal, can you get the roads paved? Can you fix the bridges so they don't collapse? Can you modernize our airports? That's the only thing I care about. I don't really care. I mean, to me, it don't matter what color you are. I just don't care. I really don't. When it comes to those issues, I got a real simple policy. Open mind, closed behind. I don't care what you do. As far as who you are, I care about what you do. If I'm going in for, some kind of surgical procedure, or I'm getting ready to get on an airplane, I don't care what the pilot or the doctor looks like. I don't care what their sexual preference is. I care, can they fly the dadgum thing and can they heal me? I mean, that's all I care about. I don't know about you. Maybe I'm wrong. Chime in and let me know. By the way, if you want to make a comment that I can actually respond to, about the only way you can do it right now is go to my YouTube channel, spell it out, John Martin Talks. Go there, make your comment. I'll try to get to it as soon as I can. I used to respond to all the Facebook comments, and we literally sometimes have 1,000 of them after the show. And I still want to, but I'm in Facebook jail. I'm in jail. I can't act. I can see your comments. Luckily, we can still get the show out there by the grace of God. We need you to keep spreading it. And some people have chimed in and said something about, why are you still on Facebook? As I told you before, we're determined here we're not giving up anything. They may take it from us, but we ain't giving up nothing. They may take it, but I'm in this fight for the long haul. Need your help. Support our sponsors. Spread the show. All of that. But we're determined to grow and be on every platform possible, including the ones they don't want us on. So if you want to help me spread the show, go out. If you're out in California, go to Facebook headquarters, make you sign up and say, Free John Martin. I got about a week's left, and they'll probably kill me again before it's all over. But liberate the South. It's scary to think about that. And about racism, let me tell you this. Let me finish up on that because I started something Billy Bob tells me to get back on track. You can't legislate racism away. It can't be done. I think and this is where I differ with some people when they talk about systematic racism. I think we've largely eliminated systematic racism. In other words, I do believe that by and large, people have a fair shake at the American dream. At least they used to. It's fading right now in our society, and we have the right to life, liberty, not the guarantee, but the pursuit of happiness. Now, I think that by government standards has largely been eliminated. Racism as people, you may never eliminate that. And we're seeing growing racism sanctioned by the left now, by the way. But you can legislate and make all kind of rules. But as of this moment, you cannot legislate what is in a person's heart. If someone has hate in their heart, the only thing that can alleviate that, to me, is their relationship with a higher power. That's just the way I see it. I'm not saying people can't change, but they're not going to change by the hammer of legislation. They're only going to change through actual looking at themselves, and it's difficult to look at yourself without the grace of God. That's just my opinion, but I think it's an opinionated fact nonetheless. But this language they're using scares me. Let's get on with this article. Joanne Donovan, a research director of Harvard, so she's got to know everything, right? Of Harvard University Sorensen Center on Media, Politics, and Public Policy, or there's a mouthful, suggested that the Biden administration set up a truth commission. A truth commission. You know, we've had those in the past. They gave them different names, like the Spanish Inquisition, stuff like that. I mean, those were truth commissions. Tell the truth. Confess. I mean, you put them in the rack. That's what we need, right? Don't think that isn't coming back, because it's coming. But we're already being put in the rack, metaphorically through like social media, man. They will attack you, brother. If you say the wrong word, man, you are done. I wasn't going to get into this story, but I got him, and I know none of the characters, and I don't even know the guy's name. You can look up, but apparently there's this top country music performer, like real young guy, and I guess he's leading the charts, or he was, and everything. I don't know anything about him, but apparently, and I don't even know the context of it, he used the N-word somehow to a friend and was caught on video by the BBC, I think. Well, he's been stripped now of being able to be on the radio at all. He's had the #1 album, not anymore, but they've taken him off the air, and I'm not condoning it at all. But if using the N-word meant taking your music off the air, I don't know. Would hip hop even exist? It's just crazy to me, man. That we're just let the people decide. You can change the channel. You can quit buying his records. But just to blanket ban people, I mean, good Lord, you make a mistake. And I don't even know if it was a mistake. I'm not saying, maybe it is. As I say, you can't legislate what's in a person's heart. But I say let the people decide. I believe in freedom. I believe in freedom of speech. I believe in freedom to change the channel. I mean, to me, we just have gotten to this. And by the way, free speech is not agreeable speech. But let's get back into this. but they want to set up a truth commission led by those familiar with extremist factions. Oh, okay, so if you're familiar, expert on extremism, but it's a one-sided thing. Extremist factions, including white supremacist groups and far-right militias behind the January 6th Capitol riot, in order to investigate the event. Translation, ladies and gentlemen, you know what that means? Trump supporters. It don't matter what color you are. You got the red MAGA hat on. You are sick, 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 and you need to be deprogrammed and liberated and everything else, man. That's what they're saying here. I mean, let me just tell you, when they're saying all this stuff, and I'm not condoning white supremacists. I actually don't know anybody who condones white supremacists. I'm sure they're out there. There are certainly white supremacists out there. There are people sick from all kind of things out there. But I can tell you, I don't see it as a huge problem. Maybe I'm wrong. But to me, what they're basically saying is, and I'm all for rooting out white supremacists, but let's root out all kind of supremacist, violent organizations on both sides. But they're really just talking about Trump supporters. But so they want to root you out if you're a Trump supporter. But these guys, like pictured right here, not so much. There's a mostly peaceful protester. And I'm not trying to necessarily pick on people who actually support Black Lives Matter. But let me just tell you, and I'll probably get banned for saying this, Black Lives Matter is a communist organization. That's just the truth. I'm not saying everybody who has a sticker or wears a shirt or even went to a protest is a communist. I'm not saying that. But make no mistake about it, Black Lives Matter is an admitted communist organization founded by Marxists. It just is. It's just a fact. Now, it's a reality. I hate to break that to you, snowflakes. So Black Lives Matter, burn it down, it's okay. Or where these guys I'm about to show here, of course, they're only, as Jerry Nadler said, a myth. But play this video. Nice language there. All right, that's good. Mythological creatures like the Tooth Fairy or Bigfoot, man. That's Antifa, by the way, attacking for probably the millionth time the courthouse in Portland. That particular video, they're setting fire on the federal courthouse, throwing Molotov cocktails and stuff. You can hear things blowing up in the background. Guess what? The courthouse was occupied at that time by U.S. Marshals and other federal agents. Were in that building that these mythological creatures were actually setting fire. So all of this stuff here, now we don't need to investigate them because they're a myth. We don't need to investigate Black Lives Matter because they're mostly peaceful, even though they're going into neighborhoods saying, wake up, get the hell up. All that burning stuff down. What about that video, and we haven't played it in a while, we're not going to play it today, where it basically said, we didn't get it, burn it down, when they were talking about Breonna Taylor, I think was her name, when they came down with no grand jury conviction. We didn't get it, burn it down. So they can say that. Pigs in a blanket, frying like bacon, or no justice, no peace, and burn it down. And how about no borders, no walls, no USA at all? I mean, that sounds like Biden chanting, right? No border, because that's what he's doing. No border, no wall. Guess what? You'll have no USA at all. That's okay. None of that needs to be investigated. But if you're wearing a MAGA hat, it don't matter what color you are, you gotta be investigated. Donovan describes such an effort as similar to the 9/11 Commission. So they want to appoint a 9/11 Commission that investigated the worst terrorist attack, or the worst sneak attack, should I say, in our country since Pearl Harbor, killed over 3,000 Americans. And so we need a 9/11 Commission to investigate Trump supporters. I mean, I'm just telling you like it is, which provided recommendations designed to guard against future attacks. So they need a 9/11 style commission that was designed to protect us from Muslim extremists, which are now, no problem. Did you know that they just captured, or just, I shouldn't say captured, they just caught like 11 Iranian nationalists crossing the Texas border, or maybe Arizona, I don't remember. that coming across the border, just like this week. Now, I'm not saying they were terrorists, but there's a good chance they were. You know, we wouldn't bet against it. But so that 9/11 commission. Well, when I stopped thinking about it, Billy Bob kind of mentioned this to me a minute ago. This is my psychic sidekick, by the way. Doesn't talk much, but we got a connection. He says, it makes sense to have a 9/11 commission to investigate Trump supporters because, MAGA, MAGA, and ISIS, ISIS, they're both four-letter words. So, yeah, I guess from that's about as logical as anything I can come up with. Investigate American citizens, at 9/11 style. So MAGA and ISIS, there's probably no difference. Another recommendation Roos claims to have received from these experts is for the Biden administration to create a task force to tackle disinformation and domestic extremism and be led by something like a reality czar. Reality czar. Somebody, I think we've already tried that. I don't know that they call these dudes that, but the last time we had a bunch of reality czars running around the planet, it didn't work out too well. Here's like the three amigos there, reality czars. You got Mao Zedong, little old Uncle Joe Stalin, and Adolf Hitler. They created their own realities, right? And they killed. What happened? Hundreds of millions of people were killed. Between Stalin, Hitler, and Mao, it's like 100 million people killed. Basically at the same time. I don't know about these reality czars, man. Maybe I'm wrong, but tell me where I'm wrong. Chime in on our YouTube channel, spell it out, and tell me where I'm wrong on this. But Roos goes on to write this. He says, it sounds a little dystopian, you think? He said, I'll grant, but let's hear them out. So let's actually hear from our fearless leader now, President Joe Biden, about the people that might need to be rooted out. How many Americans might need to, I'll let him speak for himself. Check it out.
There are probably anywhere from 10 to 15% of the people out there that are just not very good people. But that's not who we are. The vast majority of the people are decent.
10 to 15%. 15% of like 55 million people. That's how many in the United States. Think about that number. It's basically the number of people that voted for Donald Trump. Coincidence? Maybe. Alternative reality? Parallel universe? I don't know. But Joe Biden, running for the president of the United States, literally says that 15% of the American people are just bad. Just bad. But he won, I guess. There was no voter mod, nothing else. He is the president. That's one thing. I know people don't like it when I say it. I don't like it when I say it either. But we got to deal with reality. I'm not living in a parallel universe. But the parallel universe, that 15% elected, that 15%, by the way, and I'm not saying everyone, elected President Trump in 2016. 75 million people voted for Trump in 2020. That's 10 million more than he got in 2016, and more than any sitting president in the history of the nation. But, ladies and gentlemen, it is treasonous to even question the election results. That's why I say, I'm not saying there was voter mod. I'm not. But to even question it is now treasonous. We have King Biden up there. But so basically, if you question his rule, the fact that he is our president now, if you question that, then, but here's the thing. Joe Biden himself said this while President Trump was in the White House like 3 or 4 years ago. Check it out.
He's an illegitimate president in my mind. That's it. I think all the talk about impeachment and what the Democrats should do, that's fine. It's theoretical at this point. Let them investigate. Let them subpoena. Let them go to the Supreme Court. He's illegitimate. And my biggest fear is that he's going to do it again with the help of Vlad, his best pal, and we're going to be stuck for 6 more years of this guy. And that is terrifying. It's terrifying.
Would you be my vice presidential candidate? Folks, look, I absolutely agree. And one of the things we have to do here
He absolutely agrees. Think about that. She's saying that President Trump is an illegitimate president. Now, this was like a couple years into his administration, and Joe Biden says he absolutely agrees. So why is he not being impeached right now? Because he questioned the legitimacy of the election. But you, if you're part of that 75 million people that chanted, "We love you" to President Trump, if you're somebody who dares to wear a MAGA hat, or you have a Trump, you still have a Trump sign up in your yard, if you question that there was voter mod, if you question that the Supreme Court refused to even do their duty and take up the case, then you're a traitor. You're a traitor, and you should be deprogrammed. You should be put in some type of camp. You should be liberated. You should be investigated like ISIS by a 9/11 commission, all of that stuff. But King Biden can question the legitimacy of Donald Trump and be exalted and elected to the highest office in the land of the world. What are we moving towards, ladies and gentlemen? You know, I fear for this nation, but you know what I'm starting to fear more, and I joke about this, but it's becoming more real all the time. We're moving towards an idiocracy. If you check it out, these experts, so-called, if you haven't seen that movie, you should check it out. But we are moving towards what, and instead of a saving democracy, we are going to become an idiocracy. That's why I battle ignorance and apathy daily, and please support our show. I hope you've enjoyed the show as much as I've enjoyed bringing it to you. Please check out our YouTube channel, Recoil TV, our sponsors, Big Daddy Unlimited, and Patriot Threads, and others that we're lining up. I'll pray for your family. You pray for mine. Let's all pray for this great nation, because she deserves it and needs it now more than ever. But as I say each and every day, from my heart, from my family to yours, have a blessed day.